GoPro, not just a catchy name, has been one of the most dramatic rise and fall cases in business over the past couple of decades. The first ever GoPro Hero was introduced to the public at San Diego trade show in September 2004, marking the first official sale with an order of just 100 units from a Japanese distributor. Since then, GoPro has become synonymous with action cameras, defining category for anyone looking to film themselves suffering, snowboarding, and racing. These small, lightweight, and durable cameras with all the appropriate accessories become the most popular and practical option for action enthusiasts. The brand achieved such a high status that even non-GoPro action cameras were often referred to as a GoPros, much like calling any tissues a Kleenex. Despite its iconic status, GoPro has been struggling for some time. The peak of the company was around 2014 to 15, depending on how you measure it. I could show you various visuals for its decline, but the most telling measure is the stock market price in history. In June 2014, GoPro had a successful initial public offering, and by September, it hit its peak valuation at over $11 billion, exactly 10 years after selling those 100-unit cameras. However, over the next decade, the $11 billion valuation dropped to $200 million, losing over 98% of its value. If you had invested $100 in GoPro at its peak, you would have less than $2 remaining. In this video, I will explain the rise and fall of GoPro, focusing on the main person behind the company, Nick Woodman. He essentially invented the GoPro camera, founded the company, and remained its CEO. After graduating college degree in late 1990, Woodman aspired to start his own business. His first attempt was a website called EmpowerAll.com, which failed. His second attempt was gaming service was also failed during the dot-com bubble, leading to significant investor losses. Discouraged, Woodman took a 5-month suffering vacation in Australia, where he conceived the idea for GoPro. As an avid surfer, he wanted to engineer a strap for surfers to attach cameras to their wrists, involving the idea into a lightweight, durable camera inside a protective case. Returning from his trip, Woodman spent his nearly 2 years turning his idea into reality, working 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, and funding the venture with personal savings and loans from his parents. Initially, GoPro used a modified 35mm from an unknown Chinese manufacturer. Later transitioning to a digital cameras with improved features, Woodman personally marketed the cameras to suffered shows, trade shows, and even appeared on QVC. Major breakthroughs came when REI and Best Buy agreed to carry GoPros. In 2012, Woodman sold 8.88% of the companies for $200 million, valuing it at $2.5 billion and making him a billionaire. By 2014, GoPro was one of the most fastest growing companies in the world, with sales exceeding $1 billion. However, profit began to decline during into losses by 2015. Several factors contributed to GoPro's decline. First, inefficiency arose post-IPO as a confidence soared, and the company expanded rapidly, doubling its workforce within a year and a half. This led to multiple rounds of layoffs as the company struggled to sustain its size. Despite continuing growing in scales, the company's trajectory diverged from its initial success, highlighting the challenges of maintaining innovation and efficiency at scale. Nick Woodman received these $285 million stock packages that evidently made him the highest paid CEO in the company. That doesn't not sound very sufficient, but then just a few years later, it was reported that his salary was scaled all the way back to $1. So these are the wild extremes. Going back to my list, and I order these in such a way that they become most impactful as I go. Inefficiency was likely a part of it, but an even bigger part of it would be their failed efforts. I know that's a little broad, but GoPro has wasted their fair amount of resources trying to become something more than just a camera company. But let's face it, they have not made any significant progress in doing it. I think anybody watching this would likely still identify GoPro as a camera company and probably would have trouble to identifying anything else that have been associated with them. At one point they wanted to become heavily involved with entertainment. Truly there are a burden of popular videos on YouTube that has been shooted with GoPro's camera. It was a big part of their initial success and maybe even the first time you learned about them. So it seemed logical enough to utilize their following and invest in original content. They hired the former of Hulu Originals and HBO Supports executive, develop a bunch of TV series, but none of it seemed to be very profitable and promising. So they gave up on it and shut down the entire division in 2016. Another failed effort of GoPro was making drones. Again, it was meant to be a logical way for them to break out as a more than just a camera company, but ultimately ended up being an embarrassing waste of time and money. In short, they made a drone called Karma that was highly anticipated and delayed multiple times before finally being sold in October 2016. However, only a few weeks after it came out, it was completely recalled. I guess they did not test it properly. It had power issues for some people where they were shooting off mid-flight and dropping out of the sky. All 2,200 units were recalled, but it was not launched until after the holiday season. You can see the issue with that, and then after another holiday season, it was clear that Karma drone was not being a very big product that they were hoping for, and it was discontinued. For the final reason on my list, I am going to go with something that is fairly straightforward. But GoPro suffers for a narrow market. I wanted to clear that there are of course various reasons someone might be able to utilize a GoPro, but for the most of part, they are best to use record action supports. It was created to fill that exact need, and over the years it was proven that it can do it. But for the most of us, for the most of purposes, we mostly prefer to use our smartphones. But remember that GoPro predates iPhone, so during the course of its existence, it has been competing with it and not exactly winning. In 2016, when everything was falling apart, Nick Whitman said that he felt a big mistake of theirs was failing to align with GoPro with the smartphones movement. I guess sort of saying that they should have been working with smartphones against competing against them. The bottom line here is that GoPro is stuck in a narrow market of action cameras. It is a final market, but where else they can do with it? That is where you have to stop and ask if a company that is mainly makes those cameras can possibly be worth only $1 billion. I think investors have lost their confidence in GoPro's ability to build upon their original concept and expand into something reality. And I hate to pile even the further and say this, but even when you look specially at those cameras, they are not looking dominant as they were once. Anybody that has been looked into buying one of them over the past few years has likely seen attractive alternatives, some at lower prices. So even when it comes to say what they have do best, they have lost some attractions. Their sales has been fluctuated a bit, but even never come close to their previous heights, and without any major changes, it seems unlikely to happen again anytime soon. So let me know in the comments what do you think about that, the rise and fall of GoPros. Let me it really. To me it really seems like the company had so much momentum and promises that maybe people got a little bit carried out. In reality it probably should have not been an $11 billion company, but at the same time, did it really deserve to lose so much of its value? I'm curious to hear that. What do you think about that? So this is our today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe our channel, and also thumbs up the video and press the bell icon to get informed about our latest video. So take care of yourself and your surroundings.